Hello beautiful people of the internet, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and I am so excited that you've joined me today. As you can tell by today's title of the video, we're going to be diving into some books that will help you get out of a reading slump. Let's go ahead and dive into the books that I think will get you out of a reading slump. So I did categorize these in different genres just in case certain genres do not cater to you. So let's go ahead and start with my first category, and the number one genre that I go to if I am in a reading slump, and that is none other than my favorite genre, thrillers. Nothing like being in a reading slump and picking up just a good palate cleanser thriller, and a lot of these in particular have gotten me personally out of a reading slump. So let's start with the first one, and that is Anything by Freida McFadden. I have not personally read her entire list, but I have read enough to know that her thrillers are just popcorn thrillers. They're very good palate cleansers if you need a good, fast-paced, fun time. Some Freidas that I personally recommend are The Tenant, Never Lie, and The Housemaid. I personally think that these are some pretty solid reads from Freida. Again, I have not read her entire backlist, but these are my top three. The next thriller is one of my all-time favorites, and that is The Stillwater Girls by Minka Kent. Minka Kent is also a great author if you are in a reading slump. I think that her thrillers just hit differently, and they're such a fast-paced good time. This one in particular, though, I feel like is her best work. This one follows two missing girls that have turned up in society, and it follows two different perspectives. It follows the person that found them and the girls, and I loved this thriller. Next is some rich people drama that I just absolutely eat up, and that is The Family Game by Catherine Stedman. I have recommended this book to so many people who are like, Hannah, I just want a book that I can listen to and just be lost in it. I am recommending this to you specifically because of this audiobook, because if you like a good animated audio that has little sounds in it, so good. And I will say one thing, I did figure out the twist and I did figure out what happened in this one, but I didn't even care because I loved every single second of it. Basically, it's about a woman who marries into this rich family, and this family has lots of secrets, but they also like playing games. So you can really never trust anything that they say. And her father-in-law gives her this really sketchy tape to listen to. And guys, you can hear the tape on the audio. Just pick up this book if you're in a reading slump, I promise. Pick up this book, period, but especially if you're in a reading slump. Next, let's talk about Taylor Adams, specifically The Last Word by Taylor Adams. He also wrote No Exit, which I really thoroughly enjoyed that one, but this one, in my opinion, is way better. I will say, if you scare easily and do not like putting yourself in a situation, then probably don't go into this one. But if you're good with that, go right ahead. This one follows our main character who writes a 1-star review on this author's book, and he basically comes and tracks her down in the middle of the night, and it takes place over the course of that same night. It is so incredibly bingeable, and you will not want to put this book down. And I promise you, like, it will have you on the edge of your seat every 5 seconds. There is no lull at all in this book. Just trust me, it is a very easy, bingeable book. Let's go ahead and move into romance books that I think are really good palate cleansers when you need to get out of a reading slump. I think you're gonna notice a trend here with these romances because a lot of them are really fluffy and sweet and cute and just a simple, fun time. Because nobody wants to think extra when you're in a reading slump. I'm just saying. Let's talk about a 6-star romance for me that I just recently gave out, and that is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Everybody has been raving about this book for multiple years, and very well deserved so, because oh my gosh, I loved this book so incredibly much. Again, it was a 6-star read for me. Basically, you're following our main character who has sadly lost her aunt, and she has inherited her old apartment. Well, she goes to her apartment, and then there's a guy sitting in the kitchen, and she's like,
"Hello? This is my apartment. What are you doing here?
And he's like,
this is my apartment too, but I'm from 7 years in the past.
so good. Just don't ask questions, okay? It's so good. It's so good. Trust me on this one. There is 1 to 2 open door scenes in this one, I think, but they're easily skippable. So let's talk about this romance for just a second. Hello. These are YA, I believe, and the first book is The Selection, and this is by Kira Cass. So this is the Selection series. No, I have not read these series yet. I have read books 1 through 3, and let me tell you, I'm hooked. Line and sinker. This is following our main character, America, who is in competition for the prince's heart. It's a Cinderella story, but make it a competition. So good. Speaking of romance series that I really need to give more love to, but these are the perfect bingeable romance books, and I am so appalled that nobody talks about these, including me. I need to show this series way more love because I absolutely love each and every book. And that is the Bromance Book Club series by Lyssa Kay Adams. I read these when I just started reading romance, and let me tell you, I literally bought all of them because I could not stop reading them. They're so cute. I will say that these do have a couple of open door scenes in them. Again, easily skippable. They're mostly plot, and I just adore this group of friends. So as you can probably tell by the name of the series, this follows a group of men who, some of them play baseball, some of them have farm jobs. They're definitely a vast group of men, but they come together and they start a romance book club because they want to learn how to treat the women in their lives. Guys, this is so dang cute. I will say that there are some books in here that I liked more than others. This one in particular, Isn't It Romantic? I think it's book number 4, is my favorite book in this series by far. I promise you, once you meet this group of friends, you're not gonna want to put these down. Next is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Talk about a cute, fun time. Oh my goodness, this is also another bingeable romance. It is a YA romance, so keep that in mind. It's all fluff. It's all cute. It's all sunshine and rainbows. It is so cute. I love this book so much. Wes and Liz will forever have my heart. And the last romance that I had to share with you that I think would be perfect if you're in a reading slump is one that I actually just finished, and that is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is not a new book by any means, and a lot of people have already talked about it before me, but I am obsessed with this book, guys. Was this a perfect romance? No, by no means. It had its flaws. There were so many character flaws, and I was angry, I was frustrated, but I also loved this book so much. This book follows our main characters who their siblings just got married, and they were at their wedding when everybody at the wedding got food poisoning except for them, including the bride and the groom. So the bride and the groom were unable to go on their honeymoon, so they sent our main characters. I loved this book and ate up every single minute of it. I want to stop here for just a second. I have not really been telling you content warnings or spice warnings or anything like that. I have mentioned it a couple of times, but I do want to put this in here, put this reminder, is that please do your own research before going into any book that you see on the internet. Do not go into a book blind, especially if you have certain things that bug you. I do not want to be responsible for giving you a book recommendation that makes you feel some type of way. So if you are intrigued by any of these books, yay, I'm so excited because that is the whole purpose that I am here, but also take a step back and do your own research, especially if you have different things that bother you, because we all don't have the same things that bother us or things that we like in books. So that I just wanted to put that reminder in here. Next, some of you might be a little bit shocked that I have this genre on here, but let's talk about fantasy books for a second. Now, I only have 3 recommendations for you because I am just now really dipping my toes into this genre and I'm finding books that I'm loving, But there are so many fantasy books that it takes a minute to get into them. And I'm sorry, but I just don't think that that is the perfect solution for a reading slump. You need something that's going to hook you from the beginning. And I feel like these three might. First up, let's talk about The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I read this with my book club, Comfy Cozy, and all of us loved this book so much. This is a warm hug wrapped into a book. You're following our main character who is forced from her home, and she ends up going back to where her parents lived, and she finds so many magical fun things on this island. I mean, we're talking like talking spider plants magical, and a little romance ensues in this one. And I know that a lot of you have been skeptical about this one because you never really know about books like these, but I personally loved every single minute of it, and again, it just felt like a big warm hug. And what do you need more when you're in a reading slump? A big warm hug. If the tabs on these next books do not convince you of reading these books, I'm not sure anything that I say will. So there's my tabs. Hopefully you get a full gander at them. They do not have the dust covers on them because I just think that the actual books are stunning. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm talking about the Belladonna series. The first book is Belladonna, the second book is Foxglove, and the third book is Wisteria. And as far as I know, that besides maybe a novella, it is complete, but this entire trilogy has been like a 6-star series for me. I have obsessed over these characters for a very long time now. And I promise you, when I say that these books hook you from the beginning, they really do. Because the premise of books 1 and 2 is that this girl, Signa, she can't die. And she falls in love with death. You're not going to find another book on here with that kind of a premise, I'm just saying. And for those of you who are skeptical about that, don't be. Don't be at all, because it's so good. It's so good. Adeline Grace does such a beautiful, phenomenal job with that I can't say anything else about it. As much as we try to fill the void of what this book does, I have not been able to find a fiction book yet that has made me feel the way that this one made me feel. I mean, we try to fill it with other books, but the hole that this left is really big. And there's no other book. I can't have a fantasy category for books to get you out of a reading slump and not mention this book. I just can't, because it will. And you'll be obsessed, and you'll binge the entire series in like a week. Yes, that's my personal story, but if you can't listen to everybody else that is screaming this off the rooftops, listen to me. Let's talk about just other general books that I have to show you. Some of them are YA, some of them are just general fiction, but let's talk about this cute little book for a second, and that is Love and Saffron by Kim Fay. And this may kind of throw you for a minute because I've never talked about this book on my channel before, but it is one of the best little stories that I've ever read. So this story is basically a big compilation of letters between these two women, and their names are Joan and Imogene. And Imogene is a food critic, or she does something with food. I don't know if she's a chef. I can't really remember what she does, but she is very well known in the food industry. And Joan writes her a fan letter and asks her a question. And this is, again, just a book full of their letters back and forth, and these two ladies become friends. Guys, this is so sweet and precious and wholesome, and I loved every minute of it. It does take you a second to kind of get used to the format of it, obviously, because it's a book full of letters, but it's so good. And if you can get your hands on the audiobook, I highly recommend tandem reading this one or just listening to it on audio. I loved it. And it's very short, so it is great for a reading slump. And the last books that I'm going to talk to you about are actually a series, and they are YA. And you probably heard me talk about them 9 million times on my channel, but I'm going to talk to you about them again. And that is the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is Criminal Minds, but the detectives are actually teenagers with mind powers. Do with that what you will. And that's all, folks. That is everything that I have to share with you today. I'm so sorry if you have been victim of a reading slump recently, but hopefully you found a book or two that will help you get out of it. If you have any other recommendations for all of us poor souls that have fallen victim to a reading slump, please leave it down in the comments below. I would love to know your recommendations for any book that you have. And just remember, my friends, this world is a better place with you in it, and I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!